Hello, everybody. Gary and Mike here from Pivotal Advisors. We're here to talk to you a little bit about this whole coronavirus thing that's going on. Our whole world has changed. The world of our customers have changed. Everything that we used to do is kind of up in the air right now, and we thought it would be a good idea to take a little time and talk to you about some of the practical things that you can do as a sales leader to help manage your team. So, Mike, let's start a little bit. What's the first thing that pops in your mind as far as something that you might want to do differently now that this whole thing is up in the air and a little bit different?
Yeah, and maybe a lot of people are already doing this, but we thought it was important to just share. The more we talk to our clients and we hear things coming in, the more we want to share it with you. So hopefully we'll get these videos out to you as fast as we can. But the first thing I'm hearing is connection, right? It's super important that we connect with people, and since we can't connect physically, we have to connect virtually. So set up more meetings. Have a weekly sales team meeting, if nothing else, just to talk for 15 minutes and understand what people are thinking and feeling and getting closer to your team. I think that's really important. We'll put that into what we call your sales operating system, or your SOS, right? And I think right now people really need that SOS. They need that lifeline to be able to talk, because there's just a lot going on. I also think the speed of information needs to pick up because this thing is changing so rapidly, and different states are doing different things and different customers are doing different things. So it's just really, really important to pick up the frequency of what we're doing.
Yeah. So some of the things I've heard about that some of the other companies are doing is maybe even a daily huddle, virtual huddle, kind of like we're doing on this call here, but daily huddle, just 15 minutes. Um, we've even done it here. What's working for you? What's not working for you? What's going on with your customers? Let's just share best practices. What's working for me from a sales standpoint. That can be really popular, or valuable, I should say, for the people who are on that call. Your one-on-ones as a sales leader. Most of you are probably doing weekly or bi-weekly. Some of you are a little bit more between meetings than that. Pick that up. Uh, like Mike said, everything is changing day to day. Uh, Literally, I mean, day to day, everything is changing, and it's good to get constant feedback on what's going on. You can provide direction, you can help them adjust, but those are a couple of things that I see being incredibly popular.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree here. I think beyond the connecting part, I think the next thing, now that everybody's working remotely and everyone is you can't see them and you can't do it. I think there's two opportunities. One, I think our measurements are going to be even more important. Have we
yeah,
reached out to all of our customers? Again, you guys may have heard us before talk about the big three, but what are the opportunities? There are businesses that are still going out there, right? There is opportunity. Actually, heard a customer say the other day that they're getting more orders because people are now worried about a supply chain break.
yeah.
So people are trying to get ahead of it and actually build some inventory so that this goes on for a while. They're not stuck without product. So, don't just assume everything's doom and gloom here. People are going to react in different ways. I think the most important thing is, what are those opportunities? How are we converting on those opportunities? Are they what we want them to be? And I think most importantly, are we just talking to our clients? And if you have too many to talk to them all, talk to the most important clients. It's just really, really critical that we get out and we start listening.
And for a lot of us, you're going to see a slowdown. People are going to put off their decisions. They're going to cancel things that they've got going on. That's just, we see that happening across a variety of industries, especially if you're in things like entertainment or food or hospitality or things along those lines. Um, Pay attention to those big things that Mike was talking about, because we're probably going to see close rate go down a little bit, which means that something else has to come up. So maybe you got to increase activity. And as a sales leader, you got to be able to give your team a little bit of direction so they know what to work on.
I think that's huge, Gary, is that whole part of just focus, right? And almost focus in shorter windows now. What are we doing this week? Like, let's get
Right.
this done this week, and then we'll have a huddle on Monday and we'll figure out next week, because I think it is a short term world right now. And I don't know if this is going to last a month or 2 months or 3 months. Hopefully not more than that. But the teams that are focused and the teams that are working harder are going to come out the back end in a much better spot.
The last thing that we want to talk about on this short call is sharing. There's a lot going on in this world right now. Your salespeople are experiencing various different things. Mike, talk a little bit about what do you see successful companies doing when it comes to sharing what's going on?
Well, I think it's important to share a couple things, right? One, just the speed of information. You know, you've heard us talk before about five and fives, maybe even a daily. Maybe there's even I have one client doing a morning check-in with everybody and an end of day check-in. But I think it's a combination of what are we hearing out there, and then updating our metrics, like I just talked about. I think
Yeah.
it's a bit of both. And then most importantly, once you get it from the team as the sales leader, how are you sharing that information upstream to the management team or to the CEO or the owner or whoever it is you report to? Because they're also going to be making a lot of decisions around conserving cash and building up inventory for people, or just really figuring out how to weather the storm here. I just read a bunch of stuff this morning that there's a lot of small business loans available for people hit the hardest. So there may be different ways to manage money.
Yeah.
They can't make any of those decisions if they don't know what's happening with the sales team or what's happening with the client base. So, maybe it's time where you have a daily meeting with your boss, just to give them whatever you're getting, or even invite them to your meetings if you don't want to have the conversation twice. But I think sharing upward is just as important as connecting your team.
Maybe at a minimum, it's just an email that recaps what's going on in the day. What deals are at risk? What deals came in? What customers are at risk? Just so they can help plan going forward. And I also think along those lines of sharing, it's success because this is kind of a hard time right now. And I think that people want to hear about wins. They want to hear about we got a new appointment, we got a new win, we got a new order, we saved a client, something along those lines. People need to hear about the wins right now in this very uncertain time.
Well, along those lines, Gary, I mean, one of the things that your teams or your sellers have right now is if they're out talking to all your clients, they're going to hear more than anybody else
Absolutely.
what's happening, and that is now valuable to your other clients. So just having them go from one client to the next client to the next client and be able to say, "Hey, this is what I heard at so and so," or "This is how they're handling it," or "Here's what's happening here." Does that help you think about it? This is the time where the more you can connect and the more you can be valuable in any way, whether it has to do with your product or service, or you're just sharing information that might be helpful, you're going to stand out from the crowd. So this is our chance to really step up and get tighter to our clients, no matter the situation, um, and really kind of go down that path.
So, three quick things: check in more often with your team. They need to hear from you. They need direction. Pay attention to your measurements. Make sure we're setting weekly goals and we're following up to make sure people are hitting those, and be sharing effectively. Both amongst your customers, especially up to your boss, so they can plan accordingly. Our world is changing too. We're going to keep doing these types of things and providing you with updates as we learn more. So stay on the lookout for more videos like this. We want to give you practical tips so you can be more effective in managing your team.
Thanks all.